Well, it was part of the red carpet green dress competition that Susie started, and it was in order to raise money for her school, Muse Elementary, and a bunch of designers submitted, and I won.
How do you use this to speak to people around the world tonight?
Well, I really think that it offers an opportunity to create awareness around not only fashion and not only living green and not only recycling and eating organically and things like that, but it's really an opportunity to look at our relationship and our connectedness with our planet, which is the most important thing for us to understand right now if we want our planet to survive. And the best way to illustrate that is this little film called Avatar.
Right. Well, you know, look, interestingly enough, Susie and I have had two completely separate projects over the last 5 years. She founded a school, which is an elementary school, now has 50 students, and it's an environmental school. It's called Muse Elementary, and I was making a film that was an environmentally themed entertainment movie that's played around the world to hundreds of millions of people. So, you know, I know, you know, my attempt to get a message out is working, and you know, Susie now, you know, she knows that she's working at a local level, but also at a global level because she's got sister schools in Thailand and in New Zealand, and you know, so you know, both of our projects are sort of coming from the same place in terms of a value system, even though they're completely different.
Yeah.
How do you use this to crack through to people in ways that can't be done otherwise?
Well, I think the film, I think you get how that can work, and there's going to be a lot of follow-up work on that. I think the idea of the dress competition, I mean, is a single dress going to save the world? No, it's not, but it's going to challenge the fashion industry and by extension the entire clothing industry and all industries to think in terms of the toxic dyes they put into products, to think in terms of where the fabrics come from, to think in terms of the slave labor, the child labor that's used to produce those fabrics, all of those things. You know, this raises awareness on the part of the public of the products that they wear on their bodies, you know, which is by extension the same issue as the products that they put into their bodies, you know, in terms of eating organically and so on, knowing where your food comes from. You know, we just have to live differently.
Well said.
I just went on a rant.
But I think what's really important is, like, all these things we can do are easy, and people think it's so difficult to recycle.
People are afraid of change, and they feel overwhelmed by the size of the problem. And by the way, the problem is huge. It's probably huger than most people think. But the first thing you have to have is a sense of outrage that this is happening and not enough is being done. And then that has to trigger action, not a sense of being overwhelmed. People need to feel empowered that on an individual basis they can make a difference.
How does a student like Jillian from Michigan State lead the way on something like this?
She's already done it. She didn't, you know, just by the willingness to enter a contest and not know that it would lead anywhere. I think, Jillian, you were saying earlier you had no idea that you could conceivably win this, and here you are standing on a red carpet that's actually green, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, so much research went into the project. We had no idea that finding a fabric to make a red carpet dress was going to be so difficult. So there's that problem in it, and it's just inspiring young designers and people who are going to be coming into the industry to be sustainable in their garments.